There he is. There's Josh. You should have
Hey,
done
it's
Shouldn't you have done
me.
this before you went live? This seems very unprofessional.
Wow.
It is, but we have 0 viewers, so it's fine.
What do you mean? Alright, let's go, boys. Alright, Chris.
Have I sent you
Set
my
the
sheet
scene.
yet, by the way, Chris? I did, right?
Yeah,
Chris,
I got your
set
sheet. I don't
the
have your
scene.
backstory.
Chris,
Oh, yeah,
set
sure.
the scene. I sit down at the bar.
Where's the bar?
Yeah.
There's always a
we,
bar.
We
Come
can go
on.
try it in, right?
Oh god, wait.
I go up. I say, your cheese delivery just came through, sir.
Oh my god. I'm gonna
Yeah,
murder your
wait.
character already.
I like this warming up. Like,
I'll
oh,
save it. I'll save it. I'll save it. Okay.
This is just good stuff.
What doesn't?
No, we can't fucking use the World of Warcraft logo.
Oh, definitely
That's
not.
a step too far on the copyright infringement front.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
or
I'm just
possibly
gonna,
the sun.
I'm just
there.
going to live without reading all these backstories for now.
What?
And I worked so hard, and I worked so...
Well,
But got
it's
so
good making a
far.
point. I'm trying to read them, but like we should probably start.
I enter the inn, Chris. I enter the inn.
Oh, we need like a cutscene, you know, where it started WoW or the narrator.
Maybe because
started-
you've done some computer animated cutscene.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
kind of. But I just want to voice my
Okay.
excitement for being in a campaign.
Okay,
Wow,
so,
don't get too excited, Jack. That hasn't started yet.
the two questions that I have for everyone. I guess the first one doesn't apply to Ian because we know exactly what his character's experience of the Cataclysm was. So I believe it was 5 years ago, the time of the Cataclysm, 4 years ago.
Mhm.
Shallan and Talia would have both been still in,
Darnation.
if not Darnassus, then the vicinity of Teldrassil. So, what was your experience of the Cataclysm? Because some shaky shit went on up there at the time.
I don't really remember how affected Darnassus was, and like,
Darnassus, not particularly. Darkshore was completely destroyed by a tsunami.
yeah, but
Probably
I'm not
would've
for
known.
Darkshore, that's fine. I tried.
That's fine. This is all good.
I don't give a shit.
Oh dear.
I tried to get a message to my parents in Ashenville.
Did they get it?
But alas, the route between here and Asheville was totally
Yeah.
destroyed by a tsunami. And he was just like, oh, I'm sure they're fine. Well, around the time of the Cataclysm also was, or shortly after the Cataclysm, tensions really flared up at Ashenvale because the goblins began, they terraformed Azshara and began to
Invade.
invade Ashenvale and begin a sort of not strip mining, but strip foresting operation, which the Night Elves are frequently irked by.
Alright, so let's say I tried to get a message to my parents. My
Oh,
mother died.
You lived in Astronaut, didn't you? Astronaut got pretty fucked up, didn't
Yeah.
it? Like all the docks and shit were upside down.
Yeah. My mother died by orc attacks at the
Well,
time.
we
They
can
said-
say it a bit more upset, you know.
But this is all in the long past, you know. I'm a pragmatic.
5 years ago.
Long past.
in the short-lived Night Elf life, 5 years ago is eons.
I went back for funeral rites and all that. I tried to convince my father to leave with me to Darnassus, but he wouldn't change his old ways. So we split ways again, and I went back.
Okay, and Shallan?
I think so. My mother would have been. She is one of the sisters of Elune, if that's possible. Basically, she's a priest. Shallan takes after.
I have no direct knowledge that they would be celibate, so you know what? Fine.
Yeah, cool. Her father though died. Basically when the hordes invaded, so he was already gone. But she was in Darnassus when the Cataclysm hit. So experience kind of. She was in training.
The news of it, but rather than
Yeah.
well, I guess.
Yeah, she wouldn't have seen the
And
direct things, but that's part of what made her
or like
decide
the
to leave.
refugees from Astronaut.
Yeah.
And okay.
Exactly. So she would have tried to help them because again, her big thing is healing magic, basically. So she would have gone and tried to do her best to help all of those people, and then eventually that's what led her to leave.
Okay.
Darnassus.
And Ian's experience or Silas's experience of the
Yeah,
cast
Ian. Never been.
fucking
Who the fuck
fit
is he?
your fucking characters. Never mind.
He lost all of his cheese.
He got cheesed off.
You reckon you walked from Gilneas to Stormwind?
Yeah, over a long period of time.
Okay, so let's consider.
I probably took a boat to Cool Turas, and from there to like Casmadan, and then like walked west.
Ultras is not in the game.
I didn't. What's that?
Ras is coming
Not in the game. I got a boat south to like
you would have probably gone
to the Casmadan.
You can't really. So the thing about Casmodan is that there aren't really any. The major port of the dwarves is in the wetlands because Casmodan.
Like, I got like a road over there, Chris. I didn't like go to the big ship.
But Donmora is entirely surrounded by mountains. There's no like coastal towns.
There's no. Yeah, but what?
In the
it's
entire
like out
entire
to the water.
peninsula.
It's like
yeah,
crazy.
It's everyone lives interior.
Okay,
by mountains.
then I went from the Gilneas like port to the wetlands, and then walked from there.
Classic.
Huh.
I basically just skipped out hills for that, but there were too many like
Crocodiles.
yeah. Yeah.
Hillsprime? No, that's the wetlands. That's where he's going.
No. I'm looking at this map, and in the wetlands is south of
Crocodiles.
Hillsford.
Yes, but it's full of crocodiles.
Oh no!
No,
Well,
the
I
other
like
one is gonna.
No worries.
Okay, so you're in the wetlands, okay, and then you're okay for a bit because it's mostly dwarven territory.
Exactly.
South through
the burning steps,
like around what's the pass called? Dun something? Not Guldaz. Between the wetlands and
Mulgore.
Oh, Dunmodor.
No, it's not. Dunmora is where you pass. I'm trying to remember. There's a name of the pass between the wetlands.
Oh, like the big bridge.
And Lochmoden. No, that's
oh,
not. It's like the
Dun,
like the long tunnel.
The Dun Algaz tunnel.
Yeah, the Dun Algaz tunnel.
Yeah, of course. Yes, I know it well.
Okay, so you would have taken the Dun Algaz tunnel.
Yeah, I got the boat to Menisil Harbour in the wetlands. Yeah.
Okay,
Lochmoden, fine.
These volumes a bit.
Lochmoden, fine, and then you have a bit of a rocky time because you need to pass through the Badlands, the Burning Steps, and the Searing Gorge. Well, the Badlands in that order, which are occupied by ogres, Dark Iron Dwarves, and Blackrock Clan Orcs in that order. Now, Ian, not to ruin a good if implausible story.
Yeah.
Couldn't possibly convince you that you and your mother would have taken a boat from, say, Stormglen Village with the rest of the Worgen refugees joining the Alliance to Stormwind Harbour.
Everyone else did that.
And that's bad because...
He's an edgy...
Fine, Chris, fine. I took the boat. Not allowed to have any interesting
But you're the
backstories.
only Worgen to survive on that particular boat.
Oh yeah, I ate the others.
I don't even know anymore.
Okay, yeah, I took the boat. It's fine. Wouldn't let me walk.
just... Yeah, okay. It's not a very easy route between the Kingdom of the Dwarves and the Kingdom of the Humans.
I got teleported down there.
Nah, it wouldn't have teleported like hundreds of Worgens,
No, just
thousands of Worgens. just you and your mother among the Gilneas.
Fine, I got the boat.
Okay, and then the second question. Oh god,
Lost. Second out of two.
One question.
Nice. Okay.
In the recent weeks and months, the world has been under invasion by the Burning Legion. They've been launching sorties into various realms. Closest to Stormwind would be invasions of Westfall. There have been invasions in Dunmora, if I recall correctly, from like a year and something ago. By the way, none of those would have really affected you guys down here, but there would have been Dunmora and Westfall. Those have been in the last weeks and months, and were indeed the triggering event that led a coalition of Horde and Alliance forces to sail for the Broken Shore and launch an attack on the Tomb of Sargeras, where tragically word has reached you that this morning, word has reached you today that Varian Rin was slain after the cowardly backstabbing retreat of the Horde.
Oh,
just when the
Fucking
battle was won.
Fucking horde.
Fucking bastards. But back to the
Never trust
invasions. What have been, if any, your experiences of the Legion's presence, the Legion's renewed presence in Azeroth?
Well, on the one hand, it has made travel harder, but on the other hand, it has made services more profitable. People need more guards. People need safer routes. Things the auction house can provide.
Auction House doing well.
Oh yeah, this is a time of war, and a time of war is always profitable.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Tom who was playing the Goblin, right?
Tom was supposed to be the golem, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he
Not-
going to play
not
something? I didn't think there was something.
Well, I mean, like the average citizen isn't going to see much of the Legion still.
Yeah, like you have to go down to Westfall, right?
Yeah, Westfall, or the other place you said was in.
On the rock, the
Yeah.
mountains north.
Yeah, but my character is usually not much of a traveler, so I haven't really had much experience.
Mine is probably just since Westfall, I mean, it's not that far away from Goldshire. It's probably more the refugees, right? Like seeing the people who are fleeing
Sure.
those areas in advance
From
of
Sentinel Hill, from
Yeah.
Okay.
things like that. So trying to help them, basically. Seeing the despair that
And
people feel.
I hesitate to ask, but Ian,
Hmm?
what has been the reaction of the
Cheese
intelligence
business
community?
is great.
I think we're more in terms of like kind of not really fighting against the Legion, and at least I've not been doing very much of that. I've just kind of been no, not really. The Legion haven't really affected me. Like, I know. Yeah, pretty much. Like the work I actually take part in isn't affected that much by it. Like obviously it's not good news, but life goes on. Work continues.
Okay.
Continues. I don't really know. Like the Legion, like kind of idiots, right?
I mean,
Like, in the invasions, at least, they're just like Vikings, marauders. Yeah, just coming to kind of kill villages and
well,
stuff.
they're specifically demons,
Yeah,
but they are
But,
kind
like-
of stupid.
but they're just like kind of going, "Hey, there's a town. We're gonna all attack this and destroy it, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be helping that. Yeah, I'm just selling cheese.
Okay,
Gather information.
Exactly.
this is relatively painless. So now it is early evening in Goldshire. The inn is crowded, partly as a result of refugees from Sentinel Hill, partly as a result of a general feeling of community on this tragic evening. Crowded but somber. The mood is low. The fire is not roaring. The conversations are mumbled and hushed. Many people are simply sitting at their tables, nursing a solitary mug of ale and not talking to anyone. Seated somewhere in all of this, separately or together, are Talia and Shallan. And they will now tell us where.
Okay, well, I can go first.
Yeah, please do, because you know this world better.
Yeah, so I'll just be sitting, alone at a table. Also having a solitary glass, very somberly. At first glance, it might appear that I'm mourning Varian Rin. But I'm very distractedly, like, writing and scratching stuff in a ledger. And kind of rubbing my head and just, like, being a downer to myself. Just not having a very good time. Yeah, but I'm not very focused on the ongoings of others right now.
Okay, but you are contributing to the morose atmosphere.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I would say.
Okay, and Shallan.
So Shallan probably seen that, obviously knowing how important Varian was to the alliance as a whole and to the people here. She's probably trying to console those that she can, basically offer her services for healing or anything else that might be able to help people.
Don't say that in Goldshire Inn.
Apparently, sorry, not that kind.
It has a
you ass.
nice reputation.
If you ever play World of Warcraft, Josh, you're gonna log into a role playing realm and go and hang out at the Goldshire Inn for 5 minutes.
As a night elf.
And
then decide that I don't like this place and I'm moving out. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Shallan is a tender heart, ministering to the wounded pride of the humans and the Alliance as a whole.
Correct.
Silas,
Yes.
you have been traveling for probably. I mean, you've been going with a donkey and a load of cheese, so it's probably a couple of days' journey.
Mm-hmm.
Between Stormwind and Goldshire at the speed you were traveling. Like a fast rider could do it easily in a day, but
You got a donkey.
It wasn't quick.
Yeah.
Get a lot of cheese. And at this time, you pull up outside. So it's a little cart, as like I say, 6 to 8 crates of cheese that a man had carried.
Yeah.
There is a sort of a hitching post and a trough outside for steeds.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few of them present. There's a lot of varied steeds in the World of Warcraft.
Yeah, of course.
No chocobos, but
No chocobos?
no, the night elves. Oh, sorry, the blood elves ride those.
Oh, okay.
But there would be big cats and
Yeah.
horses. There'd probably be like a couple of like shut down mecha striders, which are kind of like mechanical chocobos.
Oh yeah, we have those as well in our world. Right. Yeah, I will. Is there like anybody outside who kind of like a stable boy or no?
No, but it's you've delivered here before. You know to just
Sure.
tie
I'll
up
tie
the
the donkey.
and start unloading.
Yeah. So I'll kind of.
There's like a loading area, like where the
to
wagon
the kitchens.
goes.
Yeah.
Does the donkey have a name?
I'll start loading it up, and obviously I've got to see a signature from the innkeep to let him know delivery.
Okay, but does the donkey have a name?
Yeah. The donkey name is
So
Donkey.
do you load up and go inside first, or do you start? Do you unload first, or do you?
I unload first. Like I've gone a couple of times. Like they know who I am. Like
Okay, sure.
The cheeses will speak for itself. So yeah, I'll unload it, and then I'll take my little clipboard with the contract inside.
Sure. So a man in the garb of a cheesemonger, young man, comes in the door of the inn, carrying in a large box with a ripe odor before him, and kind of clutched against the side of it because his arms wrapped around it is a clipboard with a sheet of paper. And he carries it kind of winding through, because the crowd isn't really, people aren't really standing up, so you just sort of wind between the tables. And the entrance to the kitchen is behind the bar on the right. You set down the box, and the innkeep turns to you and says, "Ah, young Silas. Yes, we've been expecting you. Safe journey, was it?"
Yeah, not too bad. Same as always. Yeah. I kind of look around the inns. Everyone's really kind of gloomy, right?
Yeah.
But the innkeep sounded alright, yeah?
Innkeeper Farley is a robust and hearty fellow. He's, if I recall correctly, I think he's bald. Or he's bald on top. I think he's got that weird human hairstyle, which kind of the bald on top, but long down the sides.
Yeah.
But he is, as barkeeps are everywhere, the life and soul of his local community.
Yeah.
And views it as his role, even on a night where he might be feeling a bit down, to keep his spirits high and not succumb to morose and misery.
Yeah. So I kind of will look around, I'm like, busy night tonight, huh? I guess a lot of people have drinking on their mind.
How they do.
Kind of, take the.
Yeah, I'll get the boy to help you with the rest of the boxes.
Thank you. And could I just get your signature quickly?
Of course. And he signs it. And I don't know what his first name is, but the last one's Farley.
It's your Farley, yeah. Kind of, nod my hat to him, thank you.
He, leans into the kitchen and barks command, and a young boy of maybe 10 or 12. Because every inn has a boy that they keep in a cell somewhere.
Yeah, sure.
But
sure, yeah.
not in a creepy way.
No.
Yeah, it's just it's an
He
official
likes
role.
it, I'm sure.
They have the innkeep, they have the chef, they have the innkeep's wife, they have the boy, they have there's just it's roles
The
that are filled.
donkey.
So yeah, and the boy gives you a hand. He knows what's expected of him. He helps you begin unloading the rest of the crates and carrying them through to the kitchen, where the chef gives you an appreciative nod as you begin sort of stacking them
Well,
up.
you said it was evening, right?
Yeah, it's sort of early evening. We'll say the sun is sort of low in the sky / just setting.
Okay.
It's just twilight.
As I've finished loading, I'll go up to the bar again and be like, and Farley, could I get a room for the night and maybe a drink and nice meal?
Certainly, Silas. That'll be 5 silver.
Yep. I hand him it, and I kind of nod and go, take a seat to wait for my food and drink.
Sure.
Or
yeah.
my drink, I don't know if they like.
It's a real sort of tavern feel to it, so there's not really. You don't find an individual table, but you seat yourself down at a kind of communal area, and
Sure, yeah.
after not too long, food and mead are brought out to you.
Excellent. I dig in with relish.
Okay, you find yourselves seated between a stout dwarf with a long ginger beard and a green cloak, or a green cape rather, with a hood pulled down. Resting next to him is a rifle propped up against the table, and he seems to be somewhere between a sort of 7 and an 8 on the drunken dwarf scale.
Whoa, that's real high for a drunken dwarf.
I thought that was pretty standard.
And on your left is a nondescript man whom you barely notice.
I stare at him intently.
He's a grey man.
Very nondescript. I'll descript you if I can. Okay, yeah. I don't say anything to them unless they say anything to me. I'll just eat.
Okay. After a short while, because you're paying so much attention to this nondescript man,
right.
You notice him sliding you a note very sort of subtly under a mug of ale.
Nah, I very discreetly palm it.
Okay.
Well, sounds check.
Sleight of hand, actually.
Give me a sleight of hand.
Okay, are we GRing stuff?
You can GR it if you want, but I mean everyone knows you're making a sleight of hand, so
Yeah, but they don't know
I
how
wouldn't
good it
don't
is.
really bother. Okay, fine.
Beautiful. Nat 20, obviously.
Let me guess, you rolled 20 not instead of or just.
Okay, you palm it stealthily.
I need to
but-
see it, Ian.
Do you read? You got a 19.
Oh, yeah,
Do you read
yeah.
the note?
Yeah, I read the note. I just throw it in the bin. I hope there's a picture of this note and it's looks like an old note because it's all coffee stained and everything.
Did you actually roll, by the way? I didn't see anything roll.
Yeah, I rolled.
You
GR'd it.
secretly for some fucking
Alright, I won't secretly do it anymore. Fine.
Okay.
worse than him.
There
This
you go.
motherfucker.
Look, here we go. It looks like this. There you go. Amazing.
Nice.
Oh my god, he's done it.
+7, huh?
Not
Oh,
bad.
yeah. The guy looked very walking
yeah.
was no problem at all when he walked in.
Expertise. Gotcha.
Oh, you think that, but
I mean, you could have 20 dex. That's fine. Or agility.
He does. Oh yeah, it's not even a deck, is it? Yeah.
So you can't say Josh only plays dex anymore.
It's
Exactly.
agility now.
Josh only plays agility.
Exactly. He only plays agility.
And as you kind of read it in your palm, the nondescript man next to you gets up and without a huge degree of anyone noticing him, leaves the room.
Yeah.
Doesn't
yeah,
just
basically.
vanish on the spot.
Just throws down some vanishing powder. No, the regent vendor was all out.
Okay. I will continue to casually eat my meal. Finish it up.
Okay. So Talia, you are sitting there scribbling away. What are you scribbling away to yourself about? Is it sums and
This night elf next to me, it's so cute.
Just drawing pictures of my dream man. No, it's my current savings versus income versus expenses.
Okay, so you're like balancing the books there at the table. Okay. And Shallan, you've made your way around, and you're comforting the dwarf that's sitting to the right of Silas, this kind of morose Ironforge rifleman who is just kind of drinking to forget life right now.
Right. And I am speaking to him in Dwarvish, by the way.
You know Dwarvish as well. High five him.
Yeah. Good. I took the acolyte background, so I know.
He's currently responding in mumbled Dwarfish, significantly worse than the Dwarfish you yourself speak.
Okay, nice. I speak it much more elegantly. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Most of his words are like directed into a mug and like therefore quite hard to discern.
yeah. So I'm asking, like obviously, like
Sometimes you don't hear what he's. You have to like reach over and pull the mug away from his mouth so you can hear what he's saying.
Yeah, he's.
You're not fluent in mug dialect. It's so
No,
common.
no, that wasn't a language option.
The most common form of Dwarvish. They don't teach it in Darnassus though.
Mug Dwarvish. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Where's Ian?
he just disappeared
Vanished.
by the light of a loom.
By the light of a loop, and then he was gone.
I just hear Jacko say that all the time, and I have no idea what
By the
the fuck
light
that
of
is.
a loon? In Shallan's comforting of the various residents of the room, she's moved on to the dwarf seated between you, or seated to your right, and are therefore having a sort of hushed and, in his case, mumbled conversation in Dwarvish.
Can I overhear any of it?
Do you speak
Do you
Dwarvish?
speak Dwarvish?
No, but I can remember sound very well. So I can remember, like,
Yeah,
they said
okay.
this.
You-
They
I
said
mean,
bonjour, s'il
you
vous
can-
plaît. I'm like, I don't want to remember it.
If you want to,
Hello,
you can
please.
remember. You can remember Shallan's part of the conversation.
Or
quite
names.
clearly.
I'm on the lookout for names.
But,
Specifically Varian within. Maybe they'll say his name.
Varian Rin and Dwarvish is very different.
Yes, they call him the Great Stone, but like
Oh,
translate.
I would know that. I mean, I would know what dwarves call him, like that. but-
So yeah, I mean, you can if you really want to memorize it, you can overhear Shallan's half of the conversation. The dwarf is very much mumbling into his mug. And it's difficult.
Are there
enough
any
for the person
names?
actually
I'm only
talking
interested
to
if there's
you.
any names.
You
no,
probably
I-
Varian once or twice, but
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little Tyrion.
And like, do I know who basically like assumes control, like becomes king afterward? Because
you know that
I
his son Anduin Rin is
Right.
is the
Yeah.
direct.
You know, watch our cinematics.
It's,
Josh.
it's,
It's a real good
it's the
cinematic.
direct heir to the throne of the human kingdom. The leadership of the alliance at this immediate point in time, the night after Varian's death, is probably a little more in question because it's not necessarily a given that the new leader of the humans
Right.
will become the new leader of the alliance, but
which makes sense.
it's likely.
So yeah, you'll probably then just hear me talking like some of the names of the leaders of the
Yeah.
alliance, and like
Yeah.
it'll be okay.
Sure.
Like the
Yeah,
you
you hear a few names. You hear the dwarf go, "Oh, first it was Magni, and now this." Magni, the king of the dwarves, who got turned to stone the 5 years ago, in the time of the Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Now they're ruled by the Council of the Three Hammers. The dwarves quite liked Magni. Okay, so while this is going on, all of you here. Okay, make perception checks. Let's use our dice for something.
Yay!
Our virtual
I'm good at
dice.
this. Which I have good.
You're
This,
good
right?
at this? Oh, I am terrible at this.
Perception.
Okay, so the night elves with their long, slender ears
Ugh.
depict the sound of a heavy wagon or cart
Oh, no.
drawn by at least 4 horses pull up outside.
Okay.
And after a short pause, there's the tramp of heavy armor-clad boots and a group of 3 guards dressed in the... and you do notice this bit, Silas, dressed in the kind of classical Stormwind or human army plate mail, come in, helmets off and underarms. Not looking particularly at attention or like they're looking for trouble, more looking like, they're here to get a break and a drink.
Yeah.
Is there enough room for them in the inn?
Yeah, they might have to sort of be standing at the bar for a bit until the table vacates itself, but there's certainly standing room.
Okay.
And they're guards, so they can just bully someone off a table if they really have to.
Is it dark outside, Chris?
By now, yes, the sun has set. It is not pitch black, but the sky is rapidly darkening as the sun approaches the far side.
So how fast did you say you could ride back to Stormwind if needed?
On a horse, you could probably do it in 6 to 8 hours, I guess. Oh, give me a second.
Only because of Warcraft 3.
Okay, so these 3 human guards come in.
Mm-hmm.
To the night elves, they look simply like generic. These are human guards, probably Stormwind knights or something.
Yeah, the moment they come in loudly stamping their dirty feet, I just roll my eyes and go back to my drink.
Sure. Silas, being educated to at least a degree in a heraldry of the regions and so on, you recognize them as in fact being, from their tabards, as being guards of Lakeshire.
Do I recognize any of that? Wait, Lakeshire.
Lakeshire,
that's
is
the east of
in
Goldshire.
the Red Ridge Mountains.
Oh, where I first went when I came to this country. Oh no, wait, I was on a boat. God damn it. Okay, yeah, Lakeshire guards.
Lakeshire, the major human town.
It's very is it quite unusual for Lakeshire guards to be this far away?
Yeah, it would be. I mean, if they're here, it's for a reason. They don't just sort of patrol this way.
They haven't come here for a drink. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably if they're from Lakeshire and they're coming through Goldshire, it's a fair bet they're on their way to Stormwind for whatever.
Okay, I will. I've basically finished with my food at that point, and I'm gonna. Are they just standing out? Or they sat down?
Yeah, they're just at the moment they're standing around at the bar, waiting for a kind of a set of 3 seats near enough each other to vacate themselves.
Yeah, I'll just continue sitting down for now, kind of trying to listen in a little bit.
Okay, so not long after the guards have entered, there begin to be. Well, give me more perception checks. Let's give you another go.
I like.
Perception is the thing you roll. It's like half of all rolls.
What, Chris? No.
You know this. How many games of D&D have you played? And you know perception is like half of what you roll.
I like how we have scaling
okay,
to
all of you.
Oh,
it's a very fancy stream setup you got going on there, Jacko.
Thank you.
I like it.
All of you begin to hear the kind of rumblings that lead up to a commotion. A slightly raised voice, not raised enough to hear over the sound of the conversation in the inn, or to hear distinctly, but loud enough to make out that it's happening from out the front. A voice perhaps slightly calmer in response, and then another voice raised, and sooner or later it's clear that there's a growing group out there having
out there outside,
out the front of the inn, having some kind of disagreement about something.
Do I? Okay. So I got given a room to a key to a room, right?
Yep, you have a key to a room.
Do I know where the room is about? Thinking of will it be a window room? Will it be towards the front of the inn? Will it be towards the back?
Yeah, you've been to Goldshire before. You remember it'll be a room that will be looking out over the front. Okay,
I'm gonna quickly, but in a way that looks like I'm not running or anything, head up to my room.
You briskly stride, man determined to get a sleep.
Exactly.
Okay.
I look up from my book, listen for a bit. I say to myself, "Ooh, this might be a nice distraction," and close it and head outside.
Shalon,
the squabbles of the lesser races are always fun.
Wow.
Yeah, so mine is more like, oh great, they're gonna, fuck up any of the work that I tried to do here, basically. So it's trying to keep everyone else calm around them, and then probably gonna go to try and address them and calm them down.
Okay, so there's So are you heading outside, or are you remaining in the inn? Okay,
yeah,
so you two are not the only, not the first nor the only occupant of the inn. Kind of, out of curiosity, go outside to see what exactly is happening, and you kind of get out there at the same time as Silas, who, as soon as he was around the corner up the stairs, broke into a flat-out sprint.
Very quick.
Gets to his window, and all of you are presented with the scene and the kind of town square that lies immediately in front of the Goldshire Inn. Across the road is the blacksmith. This time of night, it's quiet and cold. And parked immediately in front of the Goldshire Inn, next to the watering trough and everyone's mounts, is the large wagon that the two elves heard pull up earlier, laden with, or rather constructed with, iron bars in the style of a prisoner transport, drawn by 4 horses. Inside the wagon are 3 orcs, 2 chained up chained rather to a post in the middle, just by their hands, and 1 more significantly bound with chains and irons around his ankles, around his hands, and clamping his like a heavy sort of muzzle thing, clamping his jaw shut as well. And he is sort of held securely, just dangling from, well, not dangling because his feet are on the ground, but his hands are chained to the ceiling, and he really doesn't have a huge range of movement.